Good evening. So we're going to move immediately into questions. Everybody's here to talk, to hear these people talk, not me. So we're going to start off with the opening comments. We will start on the audience is right with Dan. You've got 90 seconds to give your opening comments. And if, in case you didn't hear, we are videotaping this, but the facility doesn't allow us to tie into their system, so we have to do dual mics. So if you'll please use one and then hold the other one. Just you can hold, there you go. Hold the second one.
There we go. Can everybody hear me?
Hey.
Well, hey, my name's Dan Strickland. How's everybody doing? I'm so glad to be here. Isn't this a wonderful evening? I am happy to be in a room of like-minded individuals. I am really excited about this race. This is my first time running, and this has been one heck of an experience. A little bit about me. I live in the Waterstone subdivision, which is over on the southwest side of Frisco off of Lebanon and 423. I'm the vice president of their HOA. I've got about 1,100 constituents in that neighborhood. I've been serving them for a while, and wonderful group of people, so I wanted to say hi to them if any of them are watching. I'm a former active duty Marine. I was stationed in 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, Camp Pendleton, California from 1996 to 2000. I was deployed over to Camp Hansen, Okinawa. My MOS is 0311, so I am what you call a grunt or a rifleman. I have wonderful endorsements. I have been endorsed by the pastors and elders of the largest Christian congregation in all of Frisco, and also Leadership Prep School, which is one of the largest charter schools in all of Frisco as well. Exactly.
Woo! Yeah. All right.
You did that, didn't you, Jeff?
That's awesome. Wow. And you guys have good worship, right, in your church?
Pretty, yeah, it sounds like that,
it sounds
right?
just like
yeah,
that.
It sounds like that. It
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
that.
That's good. That's awesome.
That's my luck, though, you know. Am I back on? Okay. Wonderful. Okay, so I was going through my endorsements. I'm endorsed by the largest Christian congregation in all of Frisco, by their pastors and elders, and also by many of the school board members at Leadership Prep School. That's where my children go. My son Jack is 9 and my daughter Catherine is 6. And Mark Renfro, my treasurer, could not be here today. He actually sits on the school board of Leadership Prep School too as well. I'm so glad to be endorsed by their principals too. I'm a businessman. I'm the president of 911 Security Cameras. My company is involved in physical security access control. I have contracts with the Texas Department of Corrections, very large school districts. Have the contract for all of Travis County, which encompasses over 80 buildings in Austin, Texas. I've done numerous airports. So I'm very familiar with government contracts. I know how to look at the numbers, and I'm very familiar with the business workings of large government organizations.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. My name is Brandon Burden, and as you guys all know, we're running for place 1 in City Council here. I'm a 16-year Frisco resident and live on the west side of town in the Christie State subdivision. I'd like to make a couple of shout-outs tonight. First of all, to my lovely wife, Willie. Where are you in the audience tonight? If you could just wave to everybody. My lovely wife, Willie, is with me tonight, and we have 2 beautiful children, Samuel and Abigail, ages 9 and 6, and very blessed to have them. Also, want to recognize my parents tonight. If you guys will give a little wave to the audience. Larry and Kathy Burden are here. They are the founders and pastors of Kingdom Life Christian Center on the east side of town. And only 30 seconds already? 60 seconds, okay. Anyway, I want to recognize them as well, and they have with them tonight the Frontline Chaplain Corps from their church, who does a lot of community service in the group. So thank you guys for coming out tonight, Frontline Chaplains. And by trade, I'm a business strategist for Fortune 5000 and small business. Basically, I'm a super driver. What I do is I come to an organization, I see what needs to be changed, I help them build a strategic plan, and I get everybody in the office on board with what we're going to do, and then I do it, and then we have awesome results and increase our bottom bottom line and become productive. And so we've received rewards in our company for things that we've done. And so that's kind of my background. But my passion is families. My passion is the grassroots. I am a grassroots candidate, and I'm the voice for the people. I represent what the people want in Frisco, which is a sustainable, managed growth city that's going to provide for the generations, for our kids and our grandkids to come. So I would appreciate, obviously, your support tonight.
Thank you, sir. I want to thank Frisco Tea Party for hosting this event tonight, and thank you all for coming out. They say the decisions are made by those who show up, and you are here because you've invested in your community, and that speaks volumes. My name is John Keating. I served you on Frisco City Council from 2010 to 2016. I was honored to be unanimously voted Mayor Pro Tem by my council colleagues in 2015. After my second term, I ran a hard race as the conservative Republican candidate in the primary for Texas House District 33, and I was proud to be the top vote getter out of 3 candidates in the primary and to have earned about 77% of the vote in Collin County in the runoff. In fact, it's great to see so many faces here of those who helped me campaign so hard and supported me so vigorously during that race. During my time on council, cast hundreds of votes on matters affecting Frisco, from the partnerships that bring millions of dollars to our city each year in tourism dollars and sales tax revenue, thereby lowering our residential tax burden, to working with developers to mitigate multifamily housing, to supporting the first responders who keep our families safe. In addition to my experience in Frisco City Council, I've served our country for 13 years in the U.S. Army. I'm a veteran of Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm, and today I'm fortunate that my wife Leslie and I are able to invest our time, talent, and treasure in our community through volunteerism and service. Look forward to earning your vote for Place 1. Thank you.
I heard you, so I think we're okay. All right, here, pass that one back down. Nope. This one on? Well, all right. Maybe. Hello, I'm Damon Vinci. I'm one of the 8 newcomers to this election cycle here, and I'm thankful for everybody that's showed up to listen to all of us chat and answer your questions this evening. I've lived in Frisco since fall of 2006, where I moved here with my wife and daughter. We've since gained another daughter in that time. They're now 11 and 8, Elizabeth and Catherine. They both attend Frisco ISD, Tadlock Elementary, soon to be a middle schooler with my oldest. We're also regular attendees and serve at Preston Trail Community Church over for Independence. We've been attending there for 7 or 8 years now, and we're glad to call that our church home. I'm a big proponent of families. I serve on the PTA. I'm a regular watchdog at the school and involved regularly up there. I work in IT. I've done numerous operational contracts and budgets for various companies, from large companies to small. I'm kind of an everyman candidate. I live here. I work here. You know, my kids play here, and I think I can understand the needs of the people that live here. So, I hope to get your vote.
I'll take them both.
I know you don't get my 10 seconds.
I asked that last time, one time. Hi guys, good evening. My name is John Redmond, and I would like to thank all of you for showing up, and I'd like to thank the Fabries for putting this on. I am a resident of Frisco, and we moved here in the summer of 2005. I am married. My wife Deirdre is not with us this evening. My daughter, who is 22, actually just started at Capital One, so she was with her, so they're celebrating, and I'll get there as soon as I can. Both of our kids went to Frisco schools and graduated from Lone Star, so while I may not look it, I'm actually kind of old. So we moved here, and as you can imagine, in the 12 years we've been here, Frisco is a really different town, and that's part of why I raised my hand. While I appreciate the accolades that Frisco has gotten as one of the fastest growing cities in America, I also think that's a mixed blessing. And so as a longtime Republican and as a fiscal conservative, I think it's imperative that we look at the city of Frisco and how we can create the blueprint for the city of the 21st century. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't move to Uptown. I moved to Frisco for a reason. So I think that families first, and the fact that we have a fantastic community to live, work, and play in. There are a number of issues that are facing us, and there was this Wait, I gotta go in my pocket. Hold on. There's this nifty thing over here, this annoying document that starts out with a preamble, and it reads, "We the people." I believe that I can come into Frisco City government and do something different to represent the people of Frisco. Thank you. That one. I'll take it.
Well, good evening. My name's Hal Thomas. I'm delighted to be here tonight, and I'm really grateful for you to take your time this evening to come and share your thoughts with us and to ask us questions and allow us to introduce ourselves to you. I moved to Frisco in 2010 when we built our home over in Denton County in Shattuck Creek, and we've loved it being here ever since. Quite frankly, the school district brought us to Frisco. You see, I am the parent of a special needs child, and we felt that the way the Frisco School District was able to work with the children, that it would be beneficial for our daughter. Coming here, though, I looked for a place where I could get involved, to become part of the community and to serve. And I did that through volunteering. And in 2014, the city named me as the Volunteer of the Year. My concerns and why I'm running right now is to bring transparency and understanding. There are continued investments that our city needs to make into its infrastructure and into our ways of working for our quality of life. But I think that doing so, all investment, there is a responsibility to be prudent and to manage the money very wisely. And when I look at how to find an understanding of the connection between what the voters want and what I see City Hall doing, I see a disconnect. With my experience in career in building business, in recruiting employees to choose a place to live, in building supply chain to drive jobs and economic development at a responsible level of handling money, I think that that's what I bring, and I'd love to offer that for you. Thank you.
Hi, my throat is a little bad. So, hi, I'm Stanley Wang, and thank you for giving me this chance to speak to you face to face. And I moved to Frisco in 2009. I have a PhD degree from Yale University back in '97. After that, I worked in Wall Street, had a good career. In 2009, I just wanted to spend more time. I need to spend more time with my kids and my family, so we moved down to Frisco because Frisco is a beautiful place, and Frisco has a great public school system. And my wife, Liz, we've been married for 24 years, and we still love each other very much. And she was a doctor back in China, and together we have 4 kids. The oldest one right now is in UT Austin and a computer science honor program. She graduated as a salutatorian from Liberty High. And my other 3 kids are still in Frisco ISD, and they're all excellent students. And I'm a data scientist in Intuit, and the data is my specialty. And I'm a bit concerned about the city's debt and budget transparency, and also the business development. And I believe that my educational and professional background can help the city in that aspect. And also, I'm trained in Wall Street, and Wall Street is a straight-faced environment, and I can speak straightly just for you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, candidates. So we found out who was generating the music, and there's this mic over here. So we're going to trade you mics. And if you leave that one down there. So we're going to move to the general questions. But I do need to make 1 or 2 quick announcements. One, I want to introduce Brett Sanders, who's volunteered to do the videoing tonight. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Brett. And the second question the second comment is Stacy Plummer was invited and was originally supposed to be here, but she contacted us late this afternoon. She had a family situation, so we was not able to attend. So that's why our picture's up here. She fully attended. Okay, general questions, and we will start down at the far end of the table. This one, the first question has to do with quality of life. People use different terms to explain why they moved to Frisco, but they all tend to fall under the general heading of quality of life. Today, many are concerned that their quality of life may be deteriorating. What is your opinion of the quality of life in Frisco, first? And second, What would you do to either change from or continue down the existing course? Two-part question. Mr. Lang?
Yep. Generally speaking, quality of life is still good here, but not as good as before. Why I speak of that is I'm more concerned about the education of my kids. And when I see when we moved down to Frisco, my kids went to Eastville Elementary, which was a blue ribbon school, but now it's no longer blue ribbon. And also we see like Frisco ISD is raking up a tremendous amount of debt. And the city, as we found out, is also piling up debt. So I'm really concerned about this place. And we love the environment, and we also love the churches we go to, like Stonebriar, and we love our pastors. But I hope the city can do more in those areas to improve the quality of life and bring Frisco back up. Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, same question?
Are we still using the two mics? We're using the
Two mics, yes, two mics.
The quality of life is something very important to me and my family. As I retired, I wanted to stay home and be a dad to my daughters in high school and to be available to them. So the quality of life was being able to have recreation. It was being able to participate in their education. It was being able to go to school with them and to know their teachers and to be involved with my neighbors that I knew their names and they knew mine. Frisco offers much more than many of the areas around us, but I'm concerned that we're losing some of that flavor. It's about being too crowded at certain places. It's about we have development that is right on top of one another. There's room for us to grow and there's balance to bring. I like to be able to use a park. I like to be able to park my car. I like to be able to get across town in less than 20 minutes. My concern right now is that those things are disappearing. So what can I do is a contribution to the city is to help work with bringing planning and encouraging people to be responsible about how we develop what we're doing.
Thank you, sir. I'll steal your mic. I'll keep this one. All right, I'm going to sit this time. So Frisco has been continually named a great place to raise a young athlete. So for many of us that were either athletes ourselves or have children that are athletes, that part is great. Our schools are good. Like Stanley said, I mean, there is a challenge around debt, but I think there's probably going to be a question about that later, so I'll skip that for now. I hear from many people as I've been out campaigning that there's a constant need for hike and bike trails, and while there are plans for it, they don't seem to show up. So I guess my question, or my answer to the second part of the question is, I would want to work as a city council person to work with both the EDC and more specifically the CDC in order to make sure that some of the plans that have been developed actually we can deliver on those strategies. Thank you.
I'll stand this time, so get a little variety here. I love Frisco. We moved here, my wife and I moved here, like I said, a little over 10 years ago. We had no idea what we were getting into. We had just moved here from California. We're both originally from Michigan, and we took the long way to get here. And landed in Carrollton initially, and we came to Frisco because we needed to go to Stonebriar Mall, and fell in love with the town. But 10 years ago, traffic was a problem. During the recession, we saw that we were able to kind of catch up a little bit as development slowed. We were able to expand some of the roads and get things to a more reasonable level. But now we're back to where we were again. We're still, it can take, my mom lives at Little Lemon, 423 in El Dorado. I live at El Dorado in Preston. I say it takes 15 to 45 minutes to get to her house. That's ridiculous. We should be able to improve upon that. There's no reason. I mean, the time it takes to get from one place to the other is ridiculous. We need to work on that and improve that.
Thanks. Oh, we moved here in May of '99, and the population was about 30,000. And I'll never forget coming up rolling into Frisco on 121 and coming up to the DNT, and it was a flashing yellow light at that intersection. And so I know it's hard to believe. And the Bankston Ford dealership had not opened yet. It had just been built. And we pulled up, our realtor pulled up, and we were relocating. My wife works for Frito-Lay. Coming out to Texas for the first time. I'm from California, she's from Maryland, and here we are in the middle of the country. And literally this tumbleweed blew by. And we thought, where are we? And here we are nearly 17, 18 years later. We've raised our two sons here, Zach and Ryan. We have done well, we're blessed, and we can send our kids to school anywhere we want. And there's some great academic choices here with private school and public school. Both boys went through the public school district. I worked on the PTA my younger days, and proud to say I've got the Texas PTA Lifetime Member Award for the work that we did here in the community. Served on my HOA, and 6 years on the Frisco City Council. I love Frisco. Thank you.
So yes, my family and us, we moved here in 2000 right after Stonebriar Mall opened as well, and have lived here 16 years and watched this entire town grow up around us. So obviously it's been a lot of explosive growth here. And I think the reason why we moved here and why others have moved here is because we wanted a family-friendly community where it was a suburb of Dallas, and we could have green spaces, great schools, and room to breathe, because after all, this is Texas. We're the second largest state in the union. We have space. But I just came from winter work session for 2017 where I just heard the plans moving forward in Frisco that they want us to build 65,000 apartment complex units, and they want to be a city of over 400,000 people. My problem with that is that if you wanted that, you should have built the infrastructure 25 years ago and put 4 freeways in, but you did not. Now we're coming after the fact, and we just can't build that. Plano has more land mass than we do, and they're topping out at 274,000 people. Frisco needs to go back to the original plan, 280,000 people, and let's be a suburb of Dallas, not Dallas proper.
The quality of life in Frisco is second to none. My friends and neighbors are from all over the world. They come here from other countries. They come here from north, south, east, and west. Do know we have one of the best educational systems here in not just Texas, but in the United States. In fact, my wife is here tonight, Cara. We moved to Frisco because our children go to Leadership Prep School, which is a charter school off Main and Teal, and they are one of the only schools in Texas that teach coding. So many schools now don't teach hard skills. They teach HTML and Java, and that pulls in many, many people from around the world. And that's what people are looking for. They're looking for an education system that can teach them the technology they need to understand to be able to have the education they need to get a great job when they graduate from high school and college.
Thank you, candidates. Okay, the next question has to do with budgets. Between 2011 and 2016, city population increased by 38% to 158,000 people. Definitely a fast growth city. Same period, the total city expense budget grew from $207 million to $439 million, an increase of 112%. That's 4 times the rate of population growth. Candidates, if elected to council, what would be your target for growth in the expense budget and why? And we'll start off the questions with Mr. Thomas.
Well, my target for the expense budget is immediately 8% reduction, because the effective rate is that much higher than what the city actually needs to perform delivering its services. I'm all for the highest quality, but I'm also for the most reasonable price. When I was at Erickson, I had the responsibility to control the labor costs, control the opportunity, and control the quality of the service that we were delivering to the customer. When I look at the growth of spending, I ask myself, the question is, why is this necessary? And in business, we always had indicators that we were held to standards, that when you put together a budget,